Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How's it going today? Welcome to the Speakeasy, by the way. This is where we do our Thursday night classes for clients here, and just kind of a cool hangout, little bar. We tried to make it seem like old school. We got the drinks on off to the side. So it's actually a gift from a client there, pretty cool. And just fun, right? We talk retirement, we talk trading, we talk like geeky stats and things like that. Things to basically help you get your dough straight no matter how you're going about it there. We try to do that. Now, we're going to talk about people that probably really have their dough straight retiring early. What does that mean? Like, what ages and what should you do for each of those ages? Let's talk about it a little bit. I looked it up. According to Social Security, the average retirement age that they see is 65. They come up with those numbers. I don't come up with them. And remember, that's an average. So there's people that retire at 70 and 60 and whatnot. But if you're retiring early, I'm going to sort of use the analysis from our clients here. We've got over 4,000 clients. They all have different goals and dreams, aspirations, and all that good stuff. And I just want to share with you what I see, what I kind of recommend, and how we position them a little bit. So if you're retiring at 65, that's the easiest technically because Social Security kicks in for you, your Medicare, Part A and B, and things like that. The government entitlements that you have, I don't want to say assistance, right? Things that you are entitled to, Social Security. And so that makes it the easiest there. You're also able to take from qualified plans. And when I say qualified plans, all I mean is IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401ks, you name it, TSP. You can take from your retirement plans without any penalties or anything like that. That's 65. Most people these days tell me they want to retire early. So I just bucket them in little categories, 60 to 65. That's a little early. So if you're retiring a little bit early, that's usually someone that says, I don't know if I'm going to make it to 65. How about 63? Let me see the difference between 63 and 60. I don't know. Let me see what we can do there. Well, the beauty part about that is all of your qualified plans are available. You know, right? Your IRA, 401k, you could take from all of those. Now, a lot of people use those to try to, if you've saved at least a decent amount, to hold you over until Social Security, 65. Right? Or 66, or delay it till 70, whatever you want to do. So that becomes a little bit of the game plan. And that's the kind of early retirement. A lot of people shooting for that. That's fine. Earlier, or I would call it traditionally early retirement, would be 55 to 59 and a half. You could say 55 to 60 there. But the trouble is you really can't have your IRA yet. Remember, the age is 59 and a half. You can kind of take from your 401k. Some people will draw from their Roth, because remember, you could take your Roth contributions out without penalty, right? So you're always allowed to take those dollars out. Some people do that. I don't like that, right? Because that leaves us with limited options when you get into more traditional retirement there. Now, if you're going to retire early, what I find, 55 to 59. What I find is that most people like that dividend-based approach because they have a larger dollar amount. Pet peeve of mine is when a 20-something, 30-something says, I've got 10 grand, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and I want to be a dividend-based investor. It doesn't make any sense, right? Go for as much growth as you can. Wait, what are dividends on $10,000? What are you going to do with that? So that's what most people find. Now you've got hundreds of thousands, hopefully. You've saved your whole life. You're getting into that 55, 59. Now dividends can actually be a good replication of income. There's something there to hold you over a little bit there. And also another thing is you have that 55 rule on your 401k. So if you really are truly retiring at 56, 57, well, you can take from your 401k. There's options there, but there's not options on the IRA. So we might need a little bit more income. So consider that dividend-based investing type approach if you're somewhat early, right? All right, super early. You could tell. I thought of these categories like for hours. Super early retirement is 50 to 54 and a half, 55 there. This is more rare. I don't see this often because what are you going to do? Like, that's a young age. I mean, some of you in your 20s and 30s think like, that's old. No, that's young. What are you going to do with your life? So this is a little bit different here. You have 5 to 10 years technically until you can take from qualified plans. And now the 401k is out if you retire before 55. So now we need something. We need some kind of income here. We can't go all dividend-based investing because that might not be enough income. You may not have had enough time to save up there. Usually people that retire this early, 50 to 55, have some kind of real estate or business interest, royalties, some invention. They're getting a little bit of royalties off of something, right? There's at least a little bit of income there. or we have that possibility of income, meaning you may have a rental property that is almost paid off, or you just bought another one and that's creating some income, things like that. And also I find that these people usually, they've retired, but they also like will work part-time, or they want to do a side business, or they're selling stuff online, you know, so there's some kind of income there. Now in this case, we have to think of growth and income. We can't think of only income-based investing, dividends, bonds, interest, whatever you want to call it. We can't think of only that. It's probably not enough, like I said before. We've got to have a portion of it be growth-oriented. So you're taking risk with some of this money that you're not going to touch until your 60s and 70s and whatever. So a little income, but we need that growth as well, because some of that may account for capital gains and a type of income that we would use without the traditional approach. You get what I'm saying there. Now, the last category, I was stuttering for a second because I was trying to think of an actual client that was doing this. This is pretty rare. If you want to retire under the age of 50, first of all, my first question is going to be, what are you going to do, right? Like, you're going to get bored. Some people can do it. That's fine. But if you're retiring under the age of 50, what I typically see is you had some kind of inheritance, and now there's that rule where you have 10 years until you got to take this out. So if you're 50, and you're going to retire really anyways around 60, but you have an inheritance that now with that 10-year rule, that supplies your income, well, you know, it's sad that you lost whoever you lost, but congratulations that you have that income. That may be one of the reasons there. Another one that I see is people did well in business and they sold their business. They either sold it or they're getting a payment plan. It's a very valuable business, and so each year they're getting paid out for the next so many years or whatever. Seen that. Another one is a little less common, but people that essentially played the Monopoly game with property. Like, they know how to play the game. They now have multiple properties or one gigantic property, and they played that game, so the income is less important to them. It becomes more of an income and tax type planning for them as well. And then sadly, the last one, which does happen, is disability. Right? Maybe something happened and now you're disabled. You have that income, but you were forced to retire. You cannot do your job anymore. So it's usually a little less glamorous when people retire at 50. The business selling and all that stuff, that's kind of exciting, but it usually is some reason that people have to retire that's not exciting there. So where do you stand? Who are you? What are you trying to do? Let me know in the comments below, because we are literally days away from being legally allowed to answer your comments below. You might notice we don't really answer. It's because we're not allowed. It's so frustrating. Where do you stand? I would bet most of you are saying somewhat early or kind of early, or whatever I called it before. Somewhere between like 55 and maybe 61. That's usually what I see in there. So let me know where you stand, and hopefully you've got a plan, you've got a focus. Let me know what you're doing there. We'll probably expand on this a little bit to kind of go into more detail with some of the particular investment picks and things like that now that we're able to do that. So if it helps you, hit subscribe. That'll let you know when those next videos come up. I'll wish you a great rest of your day. See you on the closing beat, live at 5 o'clock. Not right here, but over there on our YouTube channel. Come join us. We'll talk about the stock market and all kinds of good stats there. Enjoy. We'll see you later.